Well, first, happy Epiphany, okay? So before I start talking about, a bit more astrology about our condition, some people, yeah, that is really funny because, we're going to talk about the calendars first, So some people reckon that the real calendar should be in Aries, which of course, in many ways, makes sense because Aries is the first day of the first month of the zodiac. It happens anytime between the 19th and 22nd of March. And yes, of course, there would be absolutely no reason why you couldn't have a calendar that starts in Aries. I mean, it would make absolute perfect sense. However, each sign obviously represents something. And the 4 cardinal signs, Aries being one of them, are starters, that's what they're cardinal sign. We're starters. Though I'm Gemini rising, so, I can go a bit both ways. But Cancer is also the sign of birth. It's the mother, it's the sign of birth. So, we could start the calendar in Cancer as well, wouldn't be quite as good as Aries, but, it would also, because it signifies birth. So why not start it in Cancer? Now, our calendar at the moment is in Capricorn, starts in Capricorn, the new year is in Capricorn. Well, there's nothing wrong with that either, and let me tell you why. Capricorn, okay, so the solstice happens on at the very midpoint of Sagittarius on Capricorn. This is your winter solstice. And it wouldn't be quite right to start the new year then, because the light is still decreasing, and the light decreases until about the 22nd, 23rd of December. Call it the 22nd. It's different every year, it's different every year. Some people that are born around those dates, you have to check, because you could still be Sagittarius. It depends what time, where, on all of that. But the sun appears to be stationary roughly between the 22nd and the 25th of December. From the 25th onwards, this is why Christmas is celebrated as is, because Jesus is the light inside of you. It's your eternal self that will never die. So it's celebrating, Christmas really is celebrating the return of the light, the return of your light, the return of the light on earth. This is when the days finally starts to get lighter and lighter until the summer solstice. So this is the return of the light. Santa Claus does exist. Either it doesn't exist out there somewhere, is in here, is in your head. The holy cloister, this is where is the one that gives you the gifts. If you've been a good person, which means you haven't squandered your seed, you haven't ejaculated, you've not eaten fucking meat on dairy, on other shits like that. Otherwise, you will never ascend within, I'm sorry to say. So the calendar as we know it at the moment starts in Capricorn on the 1st of January. Well, originally there was something called a Saturnalia, and people would have, between the 1st and the 4th on the leap year, on a normal year, between the 1st and the 5th, 5th being the Epiphany, happy Epiphany, the Epiphany today, would be 4 or 5 days out of time. So some people would prefer to go completely within and just retire for these 4 or 5 days. But also during the Saturnalia, that's when people went mad. They partied, they had lots of sex, lots of, not something I would do, but, that was the Saturnalia. So the other reason why starting the new year on the 1st of January is not a bad thing either, I tell you why. Because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which also rules Aquarius, the next sign, by the way. And the following one after that is Pisces, which is Jupiter. Saturn is also Janus, which has 2 faces. So in Greek mythology, if you know your Greek mythology, what does Saturn do? He eats his own children. Why do you think there's a particular cult on earth that are vampires, or drink our blood, or eat our children and all of that? Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. So, because they're doing it outwardly. This is all inwardly, because what happens if you've squandered your life, when you get to Capricorn, inside of you, when it's your cycle, because everybody's cycle of Capricorn is different inside. For example, I'm Cancerian, so 9 months later in Aries, that's when my real Capricorn happens. I mean, it's a long, you have to know astrology for that, yeah? But on Earth, representing it on Earth, what happens is if you've squandered your seed and you've not been, of righteous living, as far as food is concerned, sex is concerned, morality, and all of that, then Saturn will eat you up. And then you're going to be recycled. So you've done 9 months, because what is 9 months? Is gestation. Something is always born after 9 months. This is a child, a baby is born, all being well, after 9 months. So what happens is when you come to your Capricorn 9 months later, then something is birthed. But birth and death are the same thing. So you die, like when the baby is in the womb, he dies to being a baby, to being born 9 months later. That happens also inside of you. It's exactly the same thing. So what happened, as I said, if you squandered your seed on no righteous living or anything, well, you're being recycled back. You start again. You get to Capricorn, you get to your Capricorn within, or you get to Capricorn here on Earth. They're trying to reenact it outwardly as well. You're recycled back. You're not allowed to go into the higher realms, and the higher realms are obviously Aquarius, really, because Pisces is kind of like dissolution, complete dissolution. So like really eternal life is Aquarius when you've reached your crown, because Saturn rules the crown as well, but not in Capricorn, in Aquarius. So if you've not squandered your seed, if you've had righteous living, then you can become an immortal within yourself and you reach your crown. So you get away from Capricorn, you're not recycled again. You go straight into Aquarius. You've reached your crown, you're one with God. And then you can do what you want. You can dissolute and be born again on Earth if you want, or you can stay there in the higher realms. Basically, you can do whatever you want. Delita found a way to get away to the crown without ascending within, without using the 7 chakras, which you can't avoid. You cannot avoid the heart. They have found a way to avoid the heart. So as I explained before, your 7 chakras, yeah, they're paired. Apart from the heart is in the center. It's your core, courage, core means heart. So your root is connected to your crown, your sexual chakra is connected to your pituitary pineal, and your belly to your throat. So any issues in one area will provoke issues opposite. So if you've got root issue, you'll have crown issue, you've got belly issues, you'll have throat issues, which is mainly my issue, and so on and so forth, yeah? Cancerian, the stomach, Anyway, so, of course, I've discussed circumcision. It's going to fuck up your pineal and pituitary if, obviously, you butcher your sexual organs. But what the elite have found is a way to get away to the crown and to the pineal. So what they've done, they bypass the heart. And this is why they like to, bugger children or being buggered, because it stimulates the anus. And, of course, then it stimulates their crown as well. It's a getaway to the crown, so they're cheating. But the more you cheat, the harder you fall. There is no escaping that. They can think they've got ways to try and do it, or, for a while it's going to look like they're escaping it. But when the boomerang comes back, because eventually there is a point where it boomerangs back, they'll never come back, right? So that's what I was going to say, mainly. But astrologically, yeah, we are here to escape this prison. And of course, Capricorn is Lord, Saturn is Lord, because Saturn rules our skin, it rules our bones, it rules everything we're made of in form. Capricorn is form, Capricorn is ruled by lead, it's